And good morning, good morning, good morning. We'll start off with how's the sound? That's pretty much got to be like the number one go to every morning is how does it sound? Because it jumped around microphones again. So I want to make sure that you can see me and that you can hear me. Welcome, 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 everybody, to the Monday, August 25th, the last Monday of August edition of Makers and Movers podcast. How are you doing today, folks? Today, we're talking about pitching without panic. How to talk about your business with confidence. In the groups, I ask questions. Things that you guys are having issues with, things you guys want to learn more about. Just for content, really, because we can use this platform to talk about those things. You know, these are things that are going to help all of us. Help me in my business. Help you in your business. Help all of us together. Because, like with this, what do you say when someone asks? So, what do you do? If your answer usually comes out awkward or too long or way too short, then I think this episode is going to be for you because I'm gonna break down how we can introduce yourself, explain what you do, speak curiosity, and all without feeling pushy or salesy. We'll talk about how we can keep your pitch simple and natural, why focusing on who you help boost your confidence, how we can use the curiosity hooks to invite conversation, the power of those quick stories to make your business memorable, and then how to end with kind of that low pressure invitation that really feels natural. So I feel by the end of this, we will have some repeatable ways to talk about our business that makes that feels easy and authentic and confident. Confident. That was a hard word to say for me. No scripts, no panic. Just clear, natural conversation that make people want to know more about you and your business. So as we go through this, just down below, drop a comment. What's the one sentence that you use to describe your business? All right. Now, if you're watching this on replay, make sure team replay. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, like the majority of you are, go up and hit those subscribe buttons. Turn on your notifications so when we go live, like we do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, you'll be notified of that. Um, Also, I need to know who you are, where you're from, what's in your cup, what the weather is like in your area. Why? Because we're family. We want to know that with each other. It was like 50 degrees out here. It was like usually I put on the hoodie. I grab the hoodie, throw it on because it's chilly in the office. It's chilly outside. So, we went from blazing hot to chilly in a matter of a week. Welcome to the Midwest. Um, Also, I got a Black Rifle energy this morning. Fruit punch. Not bad. Zero sugar. We'll see how that works for him. Uh, this weekend, huge dent in putting things together. We will resume shipping this week. Cameo's up through today, through yesterday. Will be shipped out today. So I know there's been certain shipments and certain things here and there. We will get those are all. We're getting those caught up. So those are going out today. We're getting things sorted. Shipping will resume this week. So we can be hitting, Labor Day weekend. We can come back from Labor Day weekend because next weekend's Labor Day weekend, 3-day weekend, right? 3-day business weekend. Although I'll work every day. Just reminder that no show next Monday, but we'll resume shipping to get those things out there for it because whew, it's been a huge undertaking. So we're getting that rock and roll and put together. That should be very, very good to go. All right, let's do some check-ins this morning. What's up, Chuck? Good morning to you. 79 Hive 84 there for Chuck. Good morning, Nicole. Good morning, Keith. How are you this morning? Brian's checking in. 58 headed to 73. Beautiful weather, right? Mountain Dew celebrating Myra's birthday. How old is she now? 29. Designs, set up stores, embroiders, celebrate some more. That sounds like a great, great day for it. That's right. Hello, TRW family. Hello to you, Annette. Good morning to Barb, North Central Minnesota, 49, high of 68. Water and cup, five things. Quotes, 3D printing, laser craft, cut HTV, design layout. Yeah, what are the five things that you are going to accomplish today? For us, it's just a nightmare of a day. Just because it's meetings, meetings, meetings. I've got meetings set up from basically 11 to 2 today. We've got DTF that's already going this morning. My two biggest goals today is catch up on all emails, catch up on all messages, because I need to make sure that people know, hey, email in with things, especially on the business side of it, because between the multiple business pages we have, sometimes the message don't come through. We're working with our marketing team to be able to sync all that stuff up. So that's part of our meetings to go through with. But I know there's some that I haven't got to. If it was through Messenger, if I'm signed into one messenger, I don't see the other ones go off until I get in back into it. So I am trying to get better at that, which is why email in, email in, email in. Good morning, Jeff. 62 there in Northern Kentucky. Diet Coke in the cup. 5 things. Set up files, print said files, 3D print, UV print key change, then cut said keychains. There's a great day for you. Tammy, good morning. From Arizona, coffee in the cup, working on embroideries. Love it, love it, love it. Danielle, good morning to you. Cindy, good morning. It's 54. It's right. It's chilly out. Apple cider energy drink. Ooh, which one's that? I'm down with an apple cider starting next week. I don't try and mess with any fall flavors until September. Print clay clutters, assemble earrings, make some more tree cake earrings, mail run, package tree cake earrings orders. Ooh, yeah. It's like, we talked about that, right? On Friday, getting stuff out there, making stuff, working on it. And Keith's sentence, I provide personal customization for your items. Love it, love it, Keith. Renee, good morning. 57 on the way to 73, right? It's been a while since we were able to do that. Regroup, all things business and personal after quick trip. Did you have a fun trip? I didn't. Do you even post like the more into it? I know it was down there for a quick turnaround trip, but I haven't even opened up that message to see how everything was going there for the things on it. Debbie's in the Chicagoland area with 57. School pickup palooza starts today. Clean my Glowforge. 8 teas to make. Very nice. Jeff, I stole your number one. Linda's checking in. 5 things. 1 to 3 press shirts. 4 3D print. 5 engraved. Love it, love it, love it. And Jerry. Morning, Linda. Morning to Jerry as well. Morning, morning, morning. All right. So what do you say we go ahead and let's get into it, right? So we're going to talk about, pitching without panic, how to talk about your business with confidence, because I feel you got to think a lot of the stuff that we're going to put together is stuff that I either went through my business, going through other business, had friends that go through it. So a lot of this is very relatable to us and our business. So, don't think I'm calling anybody out. And if you do, the person I'm calling out is myself. And if you feel like I'm calling you out, then maybe I am. If the shoe fits, wear it. Right? Okay. I feel one of the hardest things about running a small business. It's not the production. It's not the orders. It's not even the marketing. It's the moment somebody asks you, "So what do you do?" Because suddenly my brain goes blank, right? Uh, Palms get sweaty. Eat mom spaghetti. You mumble something. I make shirts. Or you overshare way too much, and they look at you like, "The hell are you talking about?" Any of this sound familiar? You're not alone, right? Talking about your business with confidence does not always come naturally. You know, Especially when you're used to working behind the scenes instead of in the spotlight. Now, the good news is you do not need, a polished script, or a real pushy personality to make a great impression. Confidence comes from having a simple, repeatable way to introduce yourself, explain what you do, and spark that curiosity. And you can do this all without sounding like a walking sales pitch. Buy my stuff, right? So, we're gonna break down 5 ways that we can pitch without the panic. So we can talk about our business in ways that feels natural, clear, and confident. So number one, let's just start with, the simple version. When people ask what you do, your goal isn't to impress them with a resume. It's to give them a quick, clear picture of your business. Keep that first response short, simple, and jargon free. This isn't the time to explain heat presses and lasers and 3D printers and transfer sheets and automatic screen print and multi-head embroidery or vinyl types. No, just tell them what you do in a way that anyone can understand. You know, a simple version also makes you feel less pressure, right? Instead of stumbling through a rehearsed monologue, you're giving that clear one-liner that opens the door for more conversation, if they're interested in it. The confidence grows when you don't overcomplicate things. So, instead of saying, I run a small business specializing in sublimation, DTF transfers, and rhinestone apparel, you can say, I make custom team and school spirit wear. Done. Instead of saying, I do custom garments and mugs and accessories using several decoration methods, you can say, I help people turn their ideas into personalized gifts and apparel. See? Pretty simple. You know, Write down one short, plain language sentence that explains your business. Practice saying it out loud until it feels natural. That's it. Now, number two, all right, highlight who you help. You know, Confidence comes from focusing less on you and more on the people you serve. Instead of saying, I make shirts, try framing it as I help blank with what? With blank. Okay. So I help who with what? I'm going to put that in here and I will put it in the comments so that way you have that to to framework to copy with, to go with that, to go with everything on that side of it. So you have that comment framework to go with. I help blank with blank. You know, when you use this approach, it makes your work relatable and it positions you as somebody who solves problems, not just someone who sells products. How many times have I said, at the end of the day, what are we? We are problem solvers, solution providers. That's what we are. By talking about who you help, you instantly make your pitch more interesting. People are more likely to lean in to hear, uh, you know, how your work will connect to families, to teams, or to local communities. It gives them a reason to think of referrals because they know who might need your service. So, someone might say, I help busy teen moms get spirit wear for the whole family without the hassle of big box stores. Another says, I help schools and clubs raise money by creating spirit wear stores at no cost to them. So, the action step for this, I will copy this and put it in here so you have this as well because it's going to help. I'm going to help. That's going to help. That's going to help. That's what I'm going to say. It's going to help. It's going to help. It's going to help. Did it pop up there? Did it go in there? It didn't. It didn't even go in there, did it? There. There. Now it should have went in there for it. You know, you're going to fill in the blank. I help the specific audience with this specific solution. Just keep it short, but specific enough to spark that recognition. All right. Now, number three, we want to use those curiosity hooks. And so what does that mean? Well, you don't need to give a full rundown of your business right away. You just need to spark that curiosity. And that's what gets people asking follow-up questions. Think of it as like dropping a teaser instead of the full commercial. The less pressure that you put on yourself to sell right away, the more natural you'll feel. Hooks also make you memorable. Instead of blending in with every other, I make custom shirts. We all know those, right? You stand out with something a little different and a little more intriguing. Instead of the I make shirts, you say I help schools fundraise in style. That line begs a question. Well, what do you mean by that? Okay. Instead of I do tumblers, say I make gifts people actually want to keep. The curiosity hook makes them ask more. So for this, just brainstorm one playful or intriguing way to describe your work, something that naturally invites the question, tell me more. All right, so let's do the first three. Let's check in. Questions, comments, concerns through this point. We will go ahead and see about what is going on there. So that way, before we get to 4 and 5, where was I back here? Where was I? There it is. Brian tagged you in a post link to discard for Plod. It's on sale. I was wondering if it's the same one used to attach to your phone. That's a good thing. I was tagged in a few things, but I have to go through pics first. Had a wonderful time, lots of memories, great old friends, and good one. That is awesome to hear. Jerry, you're not the only one. You're not the only one. But we just got to make you an action taker, right? We got to stop thinking, oh, we need to do all this, this, and this. This is what we need to do. We just do it. Don't worry about this next fad or this next training or next week, next year, next month. Worry about now. What are we going to do now to make sales come in? It is, Gretchen, 100% talking people is tough sometimes. Like me, a lot of people say, I don't, there's no way I could go live. Listen, I'm just talking to myself. I'm talking to that camera right there. Talking to that camera. Um, when I'm reading your comments, a lot of you, I have no clue what your voices sound like, so I could be totally off in what I think, but I hear voices in my head when I'm reading your comments. That doesn't sound the greatest. But they said they could never go live. I can go live doing production produced work. I stumble over my stuff when I have scripts that I'm going through. I fumble so bad if I'm recording it. Yes, yep, we can do it there. Can you help me with Wizard? Lily, what kind of help do you need with? We have a couple ways you can do that. You can reach out in the group, in our crafting group. You can ask questions in there. You can reach out via email, and the staff there will be able to help you. Or if you are in our membership community, we do trainings and that all the time for it. So it just depends on what you're looking for that. Love this. Lauren, just we just got the process, right? That's what we got to do. Thinking, I need to fine tune what I do. Yeah, instead of doing it all, Jerry, just one thing. Um, and Lily said, I accidentally deleted add stones and wizard. I pressed X thinking it was going back, but not. It's delete. I can't put it into words. Sorry, I need to talk to someone. Email it in. Do a screen record. That's what we need to go through. Group is always the best place to start because you'll most likely get the quickest responses for it. Brian says, when you talk about a specific customer type or group, that group hears you. Yes, they hear you better. Good points. Yeah. Yep. 100%. When you can make that connection, which this is number four. We'll get right back into it. Sharing a quick story. Stories are powerful because they can take the pressure off you and make your business about real people. So instead of rattling off services, you can share a 10-second story about how your product helps somebody. Stories stick in people's minds and make you sound confident without feeling like you're pitching. And the best stories are short, emotional, and specific. You don't need this big old dramatic tale. You just need that quick win that shows how your work makes a difference on it. Examples of this is last month helped a local school raise $2,000 with spiritware, and now they're using it to buy new band uniforms. Right? We did something for somebody. They raised something. They were able to do it. That's a win. That's a story. Oh, you did that for them. Wonder if you could do that for us. Another example is, I made a custom tumbler for a teacher, and she told me it was the only gift that she still uses every day. Right? So it's a story. Oh, it must have been a really awesome tumbler if they use it every day. Okay. So for this, we just need to pick one recent story and share it in 15 seconds or less. Practice telling it casually, like you would to a friend. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes, and you can just tell it. That's one of the big things is everything you should be conversational. Talk to them like they're a friend, not like they're a customer. And things will start to come natural. And then numero cinco. I just don't know where I was going with that. End with an invitation because the strongest pitches do not end with pressure. They end with an invitation. Instead of shoving, a card in someone's hand or asking them for a sale or say, scan this, let's just give them a low pressure way to connect further. And that could be, hey, following your social media, checking out your online store, stopping by your booth at an event, whatever you want them to do to learn more about it. Because invitations feel natural because they're not about closing a deal on the spot. This is going to make your pitch sustainable. You won't dread the conversations because you're trying to win them over as a customer. You're just merely open that door for future engagement. And that's where real confidence comes from. Knowing you're not pushing, you were just inviting. So you can say, hey, if you want to see some more of my work, I post new designs on Instagram all the time. Go check them out. You know, I set up stores, online stores for schools. If you're interested, I'd be happy to show you how it works if your group ever needs it. You're just inviting them to learn more about it. So what do? Is we just need to decide on one simple, natural invitation that you can use in conversations. Write it down, memorize it, just keep it ready for when you need it. So, to wrap all of this up, you know, talking about your business does not have to feel scary or salesy. Okay. When you keep it simple, when you focus on who you help, spark the curiosity, share the quick stories, and then end with an invitation, you can pitch without the panic, right? The more you practice these steps, the more natural and confident that you'll feel. So, how are we going to do this? Well, we got 5 ways to do it. We're going to start with the simple version. Okay. We're going to highlight who you help. We're going to use those curiosity hooks. We're going to share a quick story, and we're going to end with an invitation. You know, because confidence comes from clarity, not perfection, right? The next time somebody asks you what you do, you are going to be ready with a pitch that feels natural and not forced. And my friends, that's it. That's what we got today. Let me know questions, comments, concerns in here. Next show, Wednesday, right? That's the 20. No, that's the next one. When's the next one? Next one's Wednesday. What have we got talking about on Wednesday? I have to go back and look because we do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm gonna go pull up the. I'm gonna pull and see what is there on. Yeah, I had to see what it was. So I didn't even look at the schedule. We were rocking through stuff today because I do have everything scheduled for the rest of this month. So I've been trying to be on top of it for it there. Do we have Stop the Chaos? Is that what we're going to talk about? Yeah. That's what we're talking about is stopping the chaos on Wednesday. Because here's what we got. There is systems that we can use, right? That will help us not feel so chaotic. That was one of the questions that somebody asked about is the systems and stuff that we are able to put in place for it to help with the business. Now, not some of these may be beyond you, may not be there, you may not be ready for it, but they're not specific individual things, but systems because there's a bunch of different ways to do it that every decorate apparel decorator. Let's go with that. How about every apparel decorator needs, when we're looking at this, what types of things are these that we're going to do? Well, you know, how we can, kind of use a centralizing order intake so nothing slips through the cracks, file management, project tracking, customer communication boundaries, and kind of some money tracking systems. So that's what we're going to talk about on Wednesday. And then on Friday, we are going to be talking about social media, I think. Yeah, is how as an at-home apparel decorator you can grow on social media. So we've got some tips for that as well. So we got this week planned out, and the next week, no show next Monday because it is a holiday. So we we're right on time. So we're got rocking. I'm on this, right? Uh, all these are very true. I need to practice my response. Yes, Jerry. Yes, you do. Teachers do love tumblers. They do. They do. Yes, they do. Uh, on that storefront, Equid no longer has a free plan. Oh, really? I'm gonna go look. Did they finally say Lightspeed's like, nah, son, you finally want to do it? Pricing. I'm gonna go check Equid right now. Oh, $5. Mm-mm-mm. $5 for 5 products. Oh, their venture's now $25. The business is 45. The unlimited is 105 a month. Oh, that's if you go the annual. If you go the monthly, you only pay by monthly. Venture bumped up from 15 to 30. Ooh, 15 to 30. That's something you got to think about. Definitely something you got to think about on what you want to do for e-commerce solutions. Because if you're paying that $30 a month and you can only have up to 100 products, yeah, you should maybe look at just Shopify. Just saying. Ooh, they might be out. Uh, is giving them a business card an invite or being pushy? If they ask for it, I would invite and then ask for it. Hey, if you need more information, just let me know. Yeah, I'd like that. Okay, here's a business card. Hey, here's scan the QR code. Here's that. That we're just not pushing them in there for it. You're letting them ask for it. Uh, Book a meeting from a meeting. That's right. If you're talking to someone and need a follow up, set up a time that you will follow up. Absolutely. That makes it feel more natural. Yeah. Hey, when can we get together and talk about this? Absolutely. Uh, And Barb's and it came to business. I don't think so. It's as information is power. You're the one planting the seed. Yeah. So which way is it? Are they asking for it? You're just like, here's my card. Here's my card. Can feel salesy. They're asking for it. Then we have that way with it. It is a wonderful day in the neighborhood. It is gorgeous out here. It is gorgeous. My yearly in 2 years went from 380 to 540. Woo-wee. Yep. And Renee says that's why I was asking about Shopify and Shipley. I'd 100% go to in Equid. Since there's no longer a free one, I will not recommend anybody going to Equid because you can get 5 products for $5. There's just a lot of work you have to do. You can get a lot better stuff with Shopify and with Chipley. Don't handle if you're doing a bunch of stores and that stuff. Yes, it's a grand to get started. But if you talk to them sweet and say, hey, Todd said there might be a discount for us. Is there anything you can help us with? There might be a discount on it, but for a grand, and then they take a percentage of the sales. It is just time to go. This is my life. Yeah, no refunds. This will be we're wrapping everything up because we're moving to. There's still some things that we have on Equid, but we're moving stuff into the Shopify realm, and then it's all coming together by sometime next year in 2026 because we've got a lot going on there with it. Okay, so like I said, we do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So Wednesday, we got a show lined up for there. This week, Tuesday with Todd. Tomorrow night, we are doing another mini pack bundle drop. We are still showing, how we can build up gang sheets and how I can set up different size ones because some say, well, you were only showing the 120-inch one, can show a 50 and a 12. It's really a matter of just making 3 different templates. So we're going to have that for it. Wednesday, so sometime today that should be popping up. Wednesday, we are going to do a webinar on how to use the Wizard and Corel to recreate trending designs. So look for that. $20 for that webinar. That's going to be eight. It's going to be 7, 8 o'clock Wednesday night. So we've got that's happening. And then what else do we have? Hall of Fame members, you guys have your stuff on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Mentorship community, you have your stuff Monday, Wednesday, Friday. A lot of stuff is going to end up in one place so we can be easier to manage on it. So we got a busy week as always, rocking and rolling through this. So until next time, you guys have an amazing day. Love one another, right? Is that what Julie Chen says? I think that's a big one. But until next time, peace, love, press on. We will see you then. Oh, I got to hit the button. I got to hit the button.